Today on the Trent Out Loud Podcast. This really sounds like such gossip. By the way, I hate doing these love stories. I wish I had a female co-host to get into the weeds of this, but I'm going to try to do my best, okay? What up? It's your boy Trent Out Loud, and I'm back with another episode. All right, it's Thursday morning. Y'all know what that means. One more day till the long weekend starts. Happy Canada Day. If I forget to, actually, I can't really say Happy Canada Day yet, but Happy Canada Day pre-weekend. I don't know. I'm excited for the weekend, and I'm excited to celebrate Canada Day. As you guys know, I love long weekends, so I'm very excited about that. I'm also excited about tonight's presidential debate between Joe Biden and Donald Trump. So stay tuned. Make sure you watch tomorrow's episode, Friday episode, because we're going to have the breakdown of that. And I'm sure it's going to be wild. So make sure you stay tuned. But today is Thursday. We have things to talk about. So let me just get on with the show. I got one lead story for you guys. I got a small show for you guys today. Actually, news is a little light, but I got one lead story for you. Then I got quick news. We're going to talk about, in the one lead story, we're going to talk about a white couple that's been arrested for adopting 5 black children and using them as slaves. Then we're going to jump into quick news. We're going to talk about Sexyy Red beefing with Kayla B. Then we're going to talk about Amber Rose. And then we're going to close out quick news with Gunna still being signed to YSL. Then we're going to jump into question of the day. I got 2 questions of the day. And then we're going to close out with 2 pieces of sports news. We're going to talk about JJ Redick being accused of calling a female the N-word, and the NCAA drops cannabis ban. So that will be it in sports news. Y'all know what time it is. Turn your TVs, radio, or your devices up. I'm about to start this show. Let's go. A white couple is charged and arrested with human trafficking after police discover 5 adopted black children locked in a shed where they were allegedly forced to perform labor like slaves. Okay, for those of you who are not seeing this on a video, I'll try to describe the shed. It's like a small handmade shed. It's not even like it was a bought shed. I'm going to put up the picture on Spotify and YouTube for those of you who want to see it. I have pictures of the shed from the outside. Like I said, it's all wood kind of paneling. It's really small. It looks maybe 10 by 15. And then I'll also put up the pictures on the inside where it looks like they have like garden chairs and like wood walls. No sofa, no nothing. I don't know where they slept or what they did in there, but these are the pictures that we have. It's pretty horrible to look at. So I'll read a little bit of the story to you. A white West Virginia couple is being held behind bars after police discovered that they were neglecting and abusing their black adoptive children and allegedly made to perform labor as slaves. According to Metro News, Donald Ray, 63 years old, and Jenny Kay, 62 years old, were originally arrested in October 2003 after the police were called to their residence over claims of child neglect. When they arrived, they found a 14 and 16-year-old locked inside a shed on the couple's property. The teens told the police that they had been held inside the shed all day with only a small amount of, a small porta potty, but no running water, and last given food around 6 a.m. that day. 6 a.m. Just wanted to highlight that day. They also claimed that the couple made them sleep inside this shed on the hard concrete floor, which was later proven by surveillance video. The 14-year-old boy reportedly had open wounds and sores on the bottom of his feet. Like I said, when I described the pictures for you, for those of you who can't see it, it's literally cement. There's no carpet. There's no even like commercial carpet, no beds, no sheets, no nothing. Okay. Later that same day, the police were able to recover 3 more children, ages 6, 9, and 11, who were reportedly outside of the home at the time the police discovered the first 2. All 5 children were reportedly visibly malnourished and smelled like body odor. The couple were immediately arrested for child neglect and placed under a $250,000 bond each. for which they miraculously posted bond months later in February. Due to the couple being able to post such a large amount of money, despite claiming they were reportedly poor, prosecutors began to question how exactly they were able to obtain the money. After further investigation, it was discovered that the couple allegedly forced the children to perform labor as they were slaves due to them being Black. Neighbors to the couple, along with the children, all shared the same disturbing details of the abuse. The couple obviously denied the allegations and claimed the children liked the shed because it was their clubhouse. With the new information, the judge bumped their bond up to $500,000 each and packed on more charges, including human trafficking for a minor child and use of a minor child for forced labor. Wow, what a story. That is crazy. So they didn't say what they were doing in the shed. And for the life of me, I can't figure out what they could be doing in there to be making such large amount of money that these people could be having $250,000 each. So maybe they're still doing the investigation to find out. Maybe they just haven't told us yet. But this has kind of been making the rounds on blog sites lately. And so we don't have all the information. I can't figure out what they would be doing in that shed. I don't know, maybe it might be drugs or what, but like there's nothing that could be going on. Anyways, this is a horrible story. I feel like it will bubble up and it will start hitting more mainstream media soon. You guys know how these things go. It kind of hits on Twitter, it hits on social media, and it kind of bubbles. And people like me and other content creators, we talk about it. It gets on TikTok and on Instagram, and we start bringing more awareness to this issue. So for those of you out there that see this, like the video, comment, share it, whatever, so that we can make sure that these people get brought to justice, because this is disgusting, and it's not 200 years ago, bro. You're not going to be adopting children and treating them like slaves and thinking you're going to get away with this. So I'll follow up on this story. If you guys have any more information about this story, please let me know. Trent Out Loud at cfqr600.com. Comment below this video, or send me a DM at any of my social handles, Trent Out Loud or Exclucity Media. Okay, this brings us to quick news. Ring my bell. All right. Sexyy Red and Kayla B is literally going back and forth on Instagram all day. And it turns out it may have been a troll, but I will take you guys through the timeline and explain to you guys what happened, okay? So yesterday at around 4 or 5 o'clock, Sexyy Red posted on her Instagram Chief Keef's pendant, and she said, I don't care who wear this this MF mine, right? Okay, so sorry, I can't obviously say the swearing because of the radio, CFQR 600. So I don't care who wear this MF mine, okay? So she's claiming Chief Keef, okay? Then a couple hours later, Kayla B, I guess who's Chief Keef's real kind of girlfriend-ish. By the way, I hate doing these love stories. I wish I had a female co-host to get into the weeds of this, but I'm going to try to do my best, okay? So, and by the way, she's King Von's sister, Kayla B. So then she posted a picture of her own with her kissing Chief Keef, and she said, let's be a family, and she added Sexyy Red, okay? So Sexyy Red is kind of like claiming Chief Kayla is like, yo, let's be a family. Let's have a monogamous, family, a polyamorous family, okay? So then the headline is, King Von's sister, Kayla B, shares a message for Sexyy Red, who just posted Chief Keef's chain. Okay. Then it gets worse. So then this really sounds like such gossip. Anyways, so then Sexyy Red now commented under Kayla B's picture, and she said, how do I taste? I hope I can say that on the radio. But so Kayla B and Chief Keef are kissing, for those of you who are not seeing it, and Sexyy Red is saying, how do I taste? I'm sure you guys can gather what she means by that. All right, so then what next happened, then Sexyy Red posted a video inside Chief Keef's house, and she said this. Take a listen.
You can't run me off that easy now. I guess we gotta shred it. We sharing it.
I guess you can't run me off that quickly. I guess we sharing him then. So Kayla B was like, hey, let's be a family. Sexyy Red was like, all right, cool. If you're going to stay in the picture, I guess we're sharing him then. And then what happened? So Sexyy Red shares a video inside what appears to be Chief Keef's home and says she and Kayla B can share him. Okay. So we thought that would be done there, but no. An hour later, Kayla B posts herself in a car, and the caption is, meanwhile, Kayla B is in a car bumping Sexyy Red's music. So I can't play, I could play a little snippet of it, but let's hear what song she was playing. All right, so she's playing Sexyy Red, bumping in a car. So then so we thought the beef has calmed down now. It's like, okay, these girls are kind of playing back and forth. It doesn't seem too catty. And then about like an hour or 2 hours later, Sexyy Red posts this clip. Take a listen.
What's up, Corey? Don't this motherfucking baby look just like you?
So under that video, the caption said, and I'm pregnant right now, so stop playing with my baby, period, and at Chief Keef. And she said, y'all ready for my baby daddy video? And for those who can't see the video, it looks kind of like a Maury set, and she's coming out saying, don't you think that's my baby daddy? So all of that big elongated story to say, Chief Keef and Kayla B are really not beefing over Chief Keef. Sorry, Sexyy Red and Kayla B are really not beefing over Chief Keef. They're actually just trolling us the whole damn day. And what it is that Sexyy Red and Chief Keef have a video coming out and is featuring Chief Keef. So this was all a troll just to get us talking, which is brilliant. I take my hat off to Sexyy Red. This is what Sexyy Red does, man. She gets on the internet, she does a bunch of foolery, and she gets us talking. So shout out to Sexyy Red, Chief Keef. I don't know when the song is dropping. She doesn't say it, but she's just more teasing us saying, are you ready? Normally, the artists are always dropping on Friday. So we'll see what happens. And I guess we'll drop sometime Friday. If it happens before the show, we'll talk about it. If not, I'll talk about it on Monday. Shout out to Sexyy Red. Shout out to Chief Keef. And shout out to Kayla B. All right, this brings us to our second quick story. This actually should be a speed story because it's actually really quick. Amber Rose posted a picture of herself on her Instagram, and she has a Donald Trump gold pendant on, and the pendant has a red hat on that says "Make America Great Again." He has a tattoo on his neck, and I'm trying to zoom in, and I can't see what it says. And the caption is, Amber Rose out here repping for Donald Trump heavy. She has her MAGA hat on with the red flag, with the American flag. And I don't know if you guys remember, a couple of weeks ago, she was kind of dragged online for being such a woman, an advocate for women. Remember, she did the slut walk and about women's rights and how, that's how she really made her name. She got on the scene being Kanye West's girlfriend, but then she made a name for herself as a former ex-stripper fighting so much for women's rights. And she got dragged for like, how could you be fighting and be known for fighting for women's rights, and you're campaigning for somebody like Donald Trump, who has taken away the rights of women and taken away the pro-choice, taking away abortion rights for women in the United States. So it looks like she's just doubling down, right? You see what a lot of celebrities are doing right now? Anytime you try to cancel a celebrity, I think in this day and age, 5 years ago, they would backtrack, send out an apology. Now it's like, yo, I'm doubling down. And that's because of people like Donald Trump and Andrew Tate and these people. And, she's just going to double down on her badness because she knows that everything is so volatile and there's like pockets now, right? So I'm not surprised by this, man. She's doubling down and she's just voting for Trump. You have a lot of people, you have a lot of celebs more than last time going for Trump. So we'll see what happens. Like I said, this is why I'm so excited for the debates tonight. I really want to see if Donald Trump is going to garner more support, or is he going to mess up and these celebs that are backing him going to change their mind. I feel my prediction is this debate is going to be very pivotable, whatever. There's not a lot of support for Biden. It's Sleepy Joe, whatever, he's tired, and a lot of growing support for Trump. After his conviction, being found guilty, he got a big push. I think after the debates, we'll see if Joe Biden could really come out swinging. I feel like the whole Donald Trump wave will really die down. But if Donald Trump gets the upper hand, I think it's over for Joe, and Trump will be back in office in November. So, well, actually in December, but the voting is in November. So we shall see. Anyways, that's enough about Amber Rose and Trump. Let's move on to the next quick story. All right, in our third quick story, Gunna confirms he's still signed to YSL. He said no paperwork has changed. And the caption is still down with his day ones. Gunna recently confirmed that he is still signed to YSL. Here's a little clip. Take a listen.
I'm still signed to YSL. No paperwork has been changed. It's still going.
I don't understand why this is still news. I told you guys when everybody, oh gosh, Gunna snitching, whatever, blah, blah. You need to have Thug's case finished. You don't know. Maybe there's so many things that could go on with court that could cause a mistrial, like whatever. Thug could have told him, yo, say this, get out, and we're going to use this for a mistrial, or we're going to do this for whatever. Like, you don't know what's happening until Thug says, yo, I don't like this guy. I hate this guy. He snitched on me. Then you could call him a snitch. In court, there's a lot of legal proceedings and plans that lawyers have, defense attorneys has. And I've reported on the case all the way through. Even a couple of weeks ago when his lawyer was in contempt and his lawyer was ready to go to jail with Young Thug. I think he got sentenced to like 20 weekends. He did now appeal it, so he doesn't have to go. But he's like, yo, if you're gonna send me to jail with my client so I could work with him on the weekend. So his lawyer is down for that life. So you're not gonna get me to call Gunna a snitch until Thug says so, until we know what happens with Thug's trial. So everyone just chill out around that topic. All right, this brings us to question of the day. All right, this was going to be a fun one. If somebody from 1990 suddenly woke up in 2024, what would surprise them the most? All right, just underscore saying 92 said, you can't get 4 bags of chips for $1 anymore. It's Jay said LGBTQIA plus community and how they putting it in schools and forcing them on children. Okay, guys, this is supposed to be fun. Let's not get all serious now. Yet Nicole 82 said we had a black president. Michael Jackson died. Social media took over. R. Kelly went to prison. Economy went overboard. Racism still exists. And now I'm 32 years old. That was actually really good. Somebody said how much rent is. That would shock people. I mean, inflation is obviously going to happen, but I think from the 90s to 2024 is probably shocking. Somebody said we had a black president for 8 years. That would definitely be shocking to somebody from the 90s. Somebody said the DARE program didn't work. That's hilarious for those of you who know what the DARE program is. Swift AIF said, yeah, this is pretty crazy. Michael Jackson, Whitney Houston, and Prince are gone. That is crazy, man. Like, you're talking about the 3 biggest names in music all passed away from drug. I would add to the fact that they didn't just die for like unhealthy reasons or whatever. They all died from being addicted to drugs. That's crazy, man. That's how it was in the 80s. So that's a result in the 80s. That's a result of the 80s. Like, to put it into perspective, that would be now like in hip hop terms, that would be like Drake, Kendrick Lamar, and J. Cole all dying of a drug overdose. That would be shocking, right? Like, that's crazy. Anyways, somebody said, Strawberry Kiwi said, I remember how our math teacher would always say we wouldn't be able to we wouldn't be able to walk around with our calculators, and now we have them in our phone. Okay, that's a good one. That's true. Get to know your math. Don't get used to a calculator because you won't walk around with a calculator. That's true. That's a good one. Grown men pretending to be women. Okay, you had that in the 90s. It's just more visible now, I think. Reese's Pieces 81 said, there's not a phone booth in sight and the phone book is gone. No more yellow and white pages. That's a good one. That's a very good one. Somebody said this music is trash. People from in the 70s would say that the 90s is trash too, so that one sucks. Somebody said these damn pronouns. That's pretty funny. Felons can run for president. Felons could have always run for president. That's on the Constitution. So that was from the 17 or 1800s, whenever the Constitution was written. Simply SK said smartphones. Very good. Social media. Kids wearing hoodies when it's 90 degrees outside, but shorts in the winter. I'm sure they did that back then. Somebody said rate, inflation, 16 genders, mass shootings. Okay, they always had mass shootings. Global pandemic. That could be a little bit shocking. And they still don't have 40 acres and a mule. And we still don't have 40 acres and a mule. I don't think they'd be shocked at the 40 acres and a mule, but it's pretty good. Somebody said, now it costs $300 to go outside, and that ain't even enough money. That's true, man. To go outside, like if you go on a date for a weekend, you're spending close to $300, man. Somebody said Blockbusters is gone. That's hilarious. Juneteenth is a holiday, but we don't get a holiday pay, so basically we still slaves. Are you serious, you guys? It's not a national holiday. You don't get paid for the day off? That's horrible. All right, let me read a couple more. The people we made famous. That's funny. All right, this one has a lot, like 15 or 20. I'll just read this one. I'll move on to the second question. Bearded men with lip gloss, lash extensions. They had lash extensions in the 90s. Somebody said the food. Okay, technology. Women in lingerie outside. Okay, you had that. Everybody looking down at their phones, zoned out. That's true. The smell. No kids playing outside. Kids play outside. The only two options for presidency. That's hilarious. BBLs. That would actually be pretty shocking because they had boob jobs, but BBLs, that would be crazy. Whiteout veneers. That's true. That would be pretty shocking too. And a lot of other things the person said. That's funny. Somebody said it cost $500 just to breathe. All right, that's a good one. Let's move on to our second question of the day. All right, our second question of the day. With no preparation, what can you talk about for 20 minutes? Well, that's not fair for me to answer because I have a podcast. I could literally talk on here for an hour with no preparation at all. But all right, so Jeremy Evans 831 said, hell, anything for real. I just be running my gums. Somebody said how good God is. 4K33 said the impact trauma has on one's mental health. That's good. Somebody said, my mama, she's the funniest, coolest person I know. That's sweet. Shout out to mom. You know, she always listens to my podcast. So yeah, I could talk about my mom for hours. Somebody said unpopular opinion, myself. I could talk about myself for a long time too. Tiffany Page said, I'll talk about 20 different topics and tie it all together with a theme of in something. Anyways, because that's funny. I do that a lot too. I could put 20 things together and come back. I normally do it like when I'm drinking or whatever, but yeah, I could talk about 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 things and then come back and bring that all together. Somebody said conspiracy theories. I'm not a big talker in conspiracy theories. I got 1 or 2 of them, but there's some people out there who really deep dive. Somebody said any topic I can BS my way through anything. Ashley said how much my kids mean to me. Renee Royale said life, school, mental health, heartbreak, the importance of friendship. I love having talks, especially deep heart to heart with open-minded, transparent people. Yo, you could call me, man. Somebody said our Father in heaven, being a mom, food, and God. Somebody said I could talk about anything. I'd just be making stuff up. Scorpion82 said Bad Girls Club. I never watched one episode of the Bad Girls Club. I think I should watch it one day. Somebody said, Tasha Mika said, music, mental health, how to set boundaries, communications to understand, family, reinventing yourself, fixing my credit. That's hilarious. Somebody said how much I hate work. Some black okay, no, I'm not going to read that. Feminine and masculine harmony. That's a good one. Somebody said Jesus, literally everything. Somebody said Beyonce. That's funny. I was looking for some funny stuff like that, actually. All right, this one is not all that great. The first question of the day was great. This one was kind of like a little lackluster. Yeah, let's find one more. Somebody said dogs. being an Aries. That's hilarious. All right, let's close it off and jump over to sports news. All right, this brings us to sports news. All right, I heard this story bubbling for a couple of days, and then some bigger sites are reporting it. So I figured I'd throw it onto the podcast and just put it out there before it starts bubbling and gets onto mainstream media. So this is about JJ Redick and as you guys know, he's the new head coach for the Lakers. A woman claims the new Lakers head coach allegedly called her the N-word back in the day. She tweeted out, I've only been called the N-word to my face by a white man once in my life, and it was on the campus of Duke University while I was doing work for their basketball team. And today he was named the head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers. What a word. So, like I said, this is going around as kind of buzzing. Nobody on the big platforms like the Stephen A. Smiths of the world, or even on Fox or any of these places. So we'll see another story kind of like the first one. We'll see this kind of bubbling if it hits. She would have to have some sort of proof and not just some like wild allegation, but there has to be something if these kind of bigger blog sites are posting about it. There's been a lot of scrutiny for JJ Redick being named the head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers. I said that a couple of podcasts ago. I know it has nothing to do with him calling a black woman the N-word, but just to show you, he's getting a lot of heat right now. And I think really what it has to do with is that this, he had his podcast with LeBron James. He played in the NBA a little. He's an ESPN analyst, and all of a sudden now, he wasn't the assistant coach or a coach for a smaller team. He's like coaching one of the most notable, biggest basketball franchises ever in the world, and all of a sudden you're just a head coach. So I think he's getting this spotlight turned on and all this scrutiny. So this could be a little bit of hate. We will see. We'll see if she has some proof or there's some receipts to go along with this. I'll follow it and let y'all know. All right. Before I close out, I do have one more quick sports news story. The NCAA Division I Council voted to remove cannabis products from the banned substance list for championships and postseason participation in football. Current penalties for student athletes who were previously tested positive for cannabis will be discontinued. So I just want to focus on substance list for championships and post-game participation in football. I don't know if that means the whole season. I don't know. Championships and the post-games, but does that mean that they can't smoke during the regular season? I don't know. But this seems like it's a step forward to raising the stigma off of smoking weed. Like I always say, I had this argument with my mom all the time. She's like, oh my gosh, smoking weed. Oh my gosh. But it's like, it's legal, especially up here in Canada. You can go to the store, any store, and buy it. I know it's still frowned upon because it was illegal for so long, but we have to like catch up. You know what I mean? Like same way how an athlete is allowed to drink, he or she should be able to smoke. There's no difference. It's two different highs, but it's still the same thing, right? We're not talking about cocaine here. We're talking about marijuana and alcohol. And if it's legal, I feel like the athletes should be able to smoke. Or if they're not allowed to smoke, they shouldn't be allowed to drink. So don't tell me that a football player or quarterback could go out the night before and friggin' get completely wasted and show up and he's totally fine. But if somebody smokes one joint and goes to sleep and wakes up, he or she gets tested, then she gets kicked off the team. That makes absolutely no sense, because actually the morning after is actually rougher from a hangover than it is when you're smoking, because that's what a lot of people like about smoking. You wake up the next day, you don't have a hangover, you don't feel like throwing up, you don't feel sick, you feel fine. That's why a lot of people like smoking rather than even drinking. So anyways, we'll keep an eye on this, but this is a step in the right direction for the NCAA. So I like what I'm hearing. All right, that's it for me. That's the show. Yo, I got to toot my own horn. Every time I'm like, I don't have a lot of stories for you guys, I still end up talking and filling up my time that I need to do, especially on the radio. We need to fit it into 1 hour. So with the music and the talking, fit it into 1 hour. On YouTube, anywhere between 30 and 35 minutes is my sweet spot. And boom, that's what I just did. Shout out to me. Anyways, all right, y'all. Thanks for kicking with me. It was a good Thursday. Like I said, Make sure you guys check out the debate show tonight with Donald Trump and Joe Biden. We're definitely going to kick that off in lead stories tomorrow. I'm sure we're going to have a lot to talk about, so make sure that you watch it so you know what's going on. Before I leave, a little bit of housekeeping. If you are used to watching this podcast on YouTube or listening to it on podcast platforms, please try to check me out on CFQR600.com or 600 AM if you're in the Montreal area. We do play the Trent Out Loud podcast weekdays from 11 to 12, and we also mix it in with 90s and 2000s hip-hop and R&B. It's a great hour, great way to break up your day, and it's a great way for you to listen to your entertainment news. Vice versa, if you're used to listening to this on CFQR600.com or 600 in the Montreal area, and you can't always catch the Trent Out Loud podcast from 11 to 12, we understand you're busy. You can always catch it on demand on YouTube or podcast platforms. Just go to your desired site, type in Trent Out Loud, the show will pop up. Don't forget to hit the subscribe or follow button so you can be notified every time we upload a show. We upload daily. And also, lastly, for those of you who like watching video, you don't only have to watch it on YouTube now. You could watch the video of the podcast on Spotify. Spotify does support video now. And if you ask me, it's better to watch the video on Spotify because if you're on your phone, you can close your app and you do a bunch of other things. If you're watching it on YouTube, you can't really close the app. You got to start it and restart it. So if you want to watch a video, go over to Spotify and check me out. Thank you so much for the support. Thanks for tuning in. I will see you tomorrow when it's Friday. It's Friday. All right, y'all. I'll catch you tomorrow. Peace. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It's your boy, Trent Out Loud. Peace.